All right, you guys, let's talk Rampage. Rampage was mid as fuck. You guys already know that's typical of Rampage. But we do start off with Eddie Kingston and our homie Wheeler Yuta. They are fighting for the Continental Triple Crown, whatever they're calling it. You know what? This thing is a little confusing. Or maybe I'm just a dumbass. But is Eddie Kingston defending all 3 titles at all times, or something is going up for grabs or whatever? Something about it is a little bit strange. Now, I know young boys, they think about being champions. They think about having a title on their shoulders, sitting pretty or whatever. But now imagine you're Eddie Kingston. You got 3 of them bitches, okay? Now, it sounds cool or whatever for a second. But then you think about it and you're like, holy shit, I got to defend all 3 of these titles. I got to be up and ready to fight and hopefully retain these titles every single time. And now we're at the point where I'm looking at Eddie Kingston. I'm like, bro, this dude just looks tired. He looks really washed out. He looks like he's done a lot, and he's just newly crowned champion. And it's just like, damn, there's a lot to be done. But Eddie just looks like he's done already too much. And I'm looking at this match, and it's a little difficult to enjoy. In my opinion, I think it went a little too long, close to 20 minutes. It was more on the technical side, which I usually prefer. However, I just was not entertained with this. Like I said, he looks tired. He just looks like he's just gone through a lot. And obviously, Wheeler Yuta is going to take advantage of that and try to, take those titles away from him. And, this is one of those situations where Eddie Kingston is like, you know what? I beat all the members of BCC. Wheeler Yuta, you're the last one. So run up and get these hands. And I get it. However, both these guys are champions. And, this whole thing is really at the expense of Wheeler Yuta because he's the baby in the situation. He's the one with the least experience. So it's like, you know what? He can take the loss. And in my opinion, I don't think that's necessarily the case. He's obviously a champion in his own right as well. And we want champions, whether heel or not, to look great, as great as possible. So it is what it is. Wheeler Yuta definitely does give Eddie Kingston a hard time. And the predictability of this made me feel like, all right, no matter what Wheeler Yuta does here, he's not going to end up taking those titles away from Eddie Kingston. And that's exactly what ends up happening. Eddie Kingston ends up retaining. But, I'm happy for the success that Eddie's having or whatnot. But people don't want to sit there and watch someone who is just tired, who just looks like they're over it or whatever in the ring. And that's going to take the fun away from a match like this that could have been much better in terms as entertaining. Eddie Kingston retains, but if he needs a break or something, give him a break or whatever, because this is a lot to go through, having to have all 3 of these titles. Now, up next, we do have Swerve Strickland versus Matt Sydal. The chemistry could have been better. Absolutely could have been better. But that last 2-3 minutes of the match, you really see Swerve showing up and show out to close this shit and take it home. And he ends up taking the win here. In my opinion, Swerve, he looks great. He really does. I see a change in his physique as well. And he's being more this showboaty character in the ring, and this cockiness that I really, really do like when heels are super cocky. I love that type of attitude, especially when you got the moveset and everything to go and back it up or whatever. All that is great. After that promo with Samoa Joe and Hangman and Swerve the other day, it makes me wonder, where does Swerve fit in this situation? Is he someone who is before getting that world title, he's going to get his hands on, a mid-card title like the TNT title or the international title, or is he going straight for the world title? Honestly, it's really hard to tell at this point, but I still feel like, and Tony Khan plays this right, he sees that he got someone who's definitely a future world champion, and I do hope that they play their cards right with this guy, because he's really, really great. And another thing too is I really do love Prince Nana with him. Prince Nana obviously is a mouthpiece as well as Swerve Strickland, but they never step on each other's toes, so they really do fit and complement each other really, really well. So regardless of what happens, I'm not ready to see Prince Nana and Swerve Strickland split for any reason, but I'm still curious to see what happens moving forward here. Now, like I said, the chemistry wasn't all that between Swerve and Matt. However, moving forward, I think they're gonna have to be a little bit more strategic with who they put Swerve in the ring, especially if they're looking to put some gold on him. We're gonna have to just pick these opponents, a little bit better from now on. So we also have a promo from Top Flight and Action Andretti. Obviously, they've been on the high, but they have taken some L's too. Now, they do get interrupted by Private Party. Private Party, they want a fight. So they want to fight any of the two of those three. And honestly, I'm actually looking forward to see how Private Party does. They have not been together in terms of a team for, is it a year or so? Mark has been injured for quite some time, so I'll let to see how things are between them as a team. And also, I do like Top Flight and Action Andretti. I would love to see them go for trios, because obviously the Acclaim and Daddy Ass ain't doing nothing with those titles. So I would love to see someone who's actually going to be in the ring at least once a week doing something. That would be very lovely to see. You hear me, Tony Khan? Put titles on people who's going to be defending them at least once a month. I'm over it. Now, after this, we do have Queen Aminata versus Hikaru Shida. And I'm not gonna lie, this actually was my favorite match of the night. Was it the best thing you're ever gonna see? No. However, a nice friendly competition between these two girls who have obviously been in the ring with each other before, and you can see them being pretty competitive with each other and trying to outdo each other, and it really made it for a really fun match. And you know what, Queen Aminata, since she's been back, yes, she's been taking L's on AEW. However, she's been taking wins on Ring of Honor. I hate when they do shit like this. But every time I see her in the ring, I see her definitely improving. She has so much potential. She recently signed with AEW. So I'm just glad to see another woman on the roster that is talented. And I want to see what they're going to be able to do with her. I don't know if she's going to be participating in the Ring of Honor TV title tournament thing. But she definitely would be a great competitor in that tournament. Now, her and Hikaru Shida does a really great job at keeping the crowd pretty entertained. Now, I'm pretty sure that everyone was looking at it like Hikaru Shida is definitely going to take the win here. But you did not leave this match not thinking that, damn, who is this Queen Aminata? She is absolutely tearing it up. I want to see much more from her. Congrats to Hikaru Shida for taking the win with a katana. That also was predictable, but Queen Aminata is definitely showing up and showing out, and I want to see more. Now, before our main event, we do have Saraya with Ruby Soho and Renee Paquette backstage. Now, it was just Ruby's birthday the other day, and what better way for Saraya to celebrate her belated birthday by having her bring in some tears with a new year at life, showing her a video of Angelo Parker with Harley, and Harley goes and kisses him, and she just paused it right where it happens. Didn't get a chance to see how he reacted or anything like that. And obviously, Ruby is feeling heartbroken by seeing this. And then here come Angelo Parker comes a few moments later with a birthday cake, and she smashes that shit right in his face and doesn't ask no questions, doesn't say anything else. She ends up walking away. Saraya is obviously upset. This bitch planned it, obviously. And then we have Renee Paquette cussing at Angelo Parker, and I'm like, well, y'all got Renee cussing up in here? Holy shit. Angelo Parker is definitely going to have to do a lot of explaining. I don't know if Ruby's going to want to hear it. Now, our main event. Where do I begin? So it's Angelo Parker who comes out with cake all over his hair, his face, and clothes and everything. Didn't even wash that shit off. Matt Menard and Jake Hager versus the Dark Order with Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and whoever the other person is that I cannot remember at this point. Oh, John Silver. There we go. I understand, definitely. Watching the episode on Wednesday, I was like, all right, this is definitely some type of tribute to Brody Lee based off the people who are taking the wins. And this right here was also the same case as well. However, the Dark Order are not baby faces. They are absolute heels. Matter of fact, they have spent months trying to convince us that they are heels. And I think they were getting somewhere recently with that, where I was just like, all right, y'all kind of convincing me. And now here we are back at it again, where it's like, all right, so what side of the fence are y'all on? So obviously, to pay tribute to Brody Lee, they had to be baby faces in this match. And I know some people probably think, well, that doesn't matter or not, but it's just like, I understand y'all want to do something for one night, but it throws off something that y'all been working on for months. Y'all try to convince everybody that these dudes are heels. You have them doing these crazy ass vignettes every week, trying to convince the fans, and really they actually had some really great matches, singles matches, where you can really see that they're really trying to push this heel narrative, and then all of a sudden, to pay tribute to Brody King, that they had to be baby faces. I don't think that's necessarily the case, that was the case, that they had to do that. Either way, for a main event, nobody wants this for a main event. But I do think that the Dark Order did look good at times. Obviously, because of the whole tribute thing, they want them to look great in representing Brody Lee in the Dark Order. And I necessarily couldn't find this something amusing in terms of a great match or whatever. There was some great spots here. A lot of comedy things. We had -1 who was ringside and obviously playing with Jake Hager's hat, getting in the way and all that stuff. It's a lot of foolishness. You know, I don't mind the kookiness of pro wrestling or whatever, but this is a Friday night. If I'm going to spend an hour of my time watching something, I would prefer to have a better quality show. And unfortunately, it's Rampage, so we already knew where that was going. Dark Order does take the win, and I'm happy for them. They're great. But now, what do you do with them now? You're going back to the drawing board and trying to be heels again? Or they're just going to be like, fuck it, we're just going to be baby faces and figure it out. The Dark Order has been trying to be figuring this shit out for the fucking longest. And I kind of feel bad for them because it's just like there's never really a clear direction for these guys. And I don't know what's going to happen after this, but this was a very mid-episode of Rampage, and I'm hoping to see much, much better with Collision tomorrow, and obviously Battle of the Belts that's going to air right after that. It's all going to be live, and I'll come and do my live stream, and we can watch it together. And if it's not good, at least we get a chance to spend time with each other and you know, cut up and have a good time while the show is on. I want to see some good wrestling on a Saturday night. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back tomorrow with Collision.